Welcome to episode 7 of flipping from a bronze dagger to an AGS. As it stands now, we have 6.8 mil, and with Armadyl GODSWORDs being worth 17.6 mil, we have roughly 10.8 mil to go. That seems like a lot, but last episode we profited 3.35 mil, bringing us to our current bank of 6.8 mil. We got our best flip of the series so far last episode, picking up 2 pairs of evil chicken feet for 646k, and selling them for 1.552 mil, for a profit of 906k. When it comes to flipping, a bigger bank means more money to invest, which in turn means more profits to be made. So let's get flipping and try to keep up our progress. The first item that we'll attempt to flip this episode are Zamorak brews. Their usual price is between 4k and 5k, which is still really good to flip in the first place, but just recently they've been going for under 1k. We can see 50 GP here and 570 GP here. I don't think that they'll remain that cheap for that long, so I'll put up an offer to buy some at 1.5k. For item number 2, Morton teleports have been going between 3.5k and 5k recently. If we zoom out on the graph, we can see that these spiked up to 30k each on the day that Raids 2 came out, and have been falling ever since. While it's risky that they'll continue to keep falling, we can see on the quarterly graph that before Raids 2 they were also worth around 5k as well, so I'm not too worried. I'll aim to get around 200 of these. If you've been watching my previous episodes, you'll know exactly what this means. When a potion that can be decanted dips below its usual price, that's a beautiful indicator that you can pick them up for cheap, decant them, and sell them as 4 doses. I placed an offer to buy as many of these 3-dose super strength pots as I can. On the latest price tab, I found Limpwort roots trading with a 91 GP margin. Since these are free to play, I don't expect this margin to last for too long because more people can flip them. So I'll put an offer to buy them at 150 each. For the next item, I found Dwarven helmets. This chart's going to be a little bit hard to read because of this massive spike to 1 mil here, but even despite that, they still look really good to flip. If you look at the values on the crosshair when I move my mouse, you can see that they've been trading for as low as 36k recently, and as high as 60k each, meaning when I flip these, I hope to make around 24k for each one. For the next item, Holy Blessings have an incredibly good channel of volatility for flipping. For the whole day, they've been selling for as low as 22k each and selling for as high as 30k each. I'll put an offer to buy 25 of these for just over 22k. And it goes without saying, we've got a lot of high volume flips but no fashionscape. To fill that, I found katanas. They also have a nice volatility range going between 160k and 230k. Their quantity traded is 30 for the day, so I'll try my luck at getting 4 of these. We hope to make around 70k for each one. And so now we've got 2.3 mil left to spend. Let's look for a high volume item to use the rest of our cash on. So the high volume item that I found is Dragonstone amulets. They usually sell for around 12.5k, but right now it looks like I could get some for just over 11k each. I've also decided to cancel the Limpwort roots. Looking at the graph, I can't see any way that I'd actually be able to get these for 150 each. I'll look for something else to buy. So this looks a lot better to flip. Right now, baby implings are going between 1.5k and 2.5k each. That's a pretty insane margin, so I'm hoping it works out. Alright, so this is what I'll be leaving for the day. It's pretty nice to see that some stuff has already started selling. I'll be out for the whole day, so I'm not going to be able to check these for around 12 hours or so. It's the night of the first day, and we've had some pretty mediocre luck with these flips. Just under half of them went through, which is quite unlucky. The silver lining though is that the Dragonstone amulets went through, which if I recall was worth around 2.3 mil. Let's collect and cancel and start putting up some sell offers. Looking at the graph for Dragonstone amulets, I can see that the most recent trade for them was for 12.2k. So I'll put them up for that much. It's still really hard to see the price points for Dwarven helmets because of that spike earlier today, but I can see that looking at the last point in the graph that I can sell these for around 53k. These baby implings still look really nice and volatile. I'm going to take this last little insta-buy spike right here to be the price that I sell it at, for just under 2.5k. And Holy Blessings have also remained very volatile. I'm going to take this price here of 29,300 as my selling price. Okay, so we've got 3.4 mil and 4 GE slots. I'm going to start looking for some items. So the first item of tonight is Zamorak Road Tops, going between 151k and 208k. I'll aim to pick up around 6 of these. Barrow's Teleport's looking really nice to flip. We can see that there's a nice stable insta sell price of around 2.6k, which indicates that this one's actually a pretty safe flip. It shouldn't just crash on us just out of nowhere. But at the same time, people are insta buying them for anywhere between 3k and 3.5k. So we could make as much as 1k for each one of these that we flip. Looking at the quantity traded, we could buy as many of these as we wanted to really, but for the sake of diversification, I'm only going to spend around 1.5 mil on these. Next up, I found Saradome and Robe Legs. These have had a pretty insane margin for the last week, going for between 85k and 135k. Looking at the daily chart, I can see that the most recent trade was for 91k, so I'll put up an offer for that much. The plan will be to sell them for around 130k each. So now we've got 760k, let's look for one more item. I reckon this looks pretty good for a last item. Lumberyard Teleports are usually going for around 7.5k, but right now they're only going for around 5k each. I'm actually going to count on these bouncing back up, so I'll put up my own offer for 5k and hopefully they insta-buy. And just as planned, we managed to get them straight away. So looking at how these have been going for the last few days, I'm actually really happy with picking these up for just 5k. I put up an offer for 7.6k to match what they were just a few hours ago. Okay, so this is what I'll be leaving overnight. It's nice to see that some offers are actually starting to go through. I'll be logging off and I'll be checking these tomorrow. It's the morning of day 2 and this is what we've got. It's good to see that most of our offers got some action last night, but the one thing that I'm a bit worried to see is that the Lumberyard Teleports haven't sold at all. Let's collect and cancel. Looking at the profit for the flips that we completed, we bought the Holy Blessings for 447k. And we sold them for 586k. That is roughly 139k profit. And we made just under 1k for each Dragonstone amulet that we flipped. We flipped 205 of them for a total profit of 194k. As for the other items, let's start selling them off. Starting with the Barrow's Teleports that we bought for 2.6k each, I can see that the price that they're insta buying for is still reaching up to 3k. I'm going to put an offer up for 3k and see how they go. We didn't manage to sell off all the Dwarven helmets, we've still got 2 left. I can see that the most recent trade is for 41k, and since we basically want to get rid of them to flip other things, I'll put them up for that much. So we managed to sell a good chunk of these baby impling jars for 2.5k each, but we still have a few left over to sell. I can see that in the most recent trades they have touched around 1.8k, so I'll put up an offer for slightly under 1.8k. So this is a little bit awkward. I put up an offer for the Zamorak Robe Tops for 203k each based on the latest price, but my recording shut off so we didn't get to see it go through. I already collected the money, so that's why I've got 5.2 mil now, and also some of the baby implings sold, so yeah. But yeah, looking at our profit for those, we picked them up for 453k and we sold them for 609k, that's 156k profit. And so, I've left these Lumberyard Teleports for last for a reason. Looking at the graph, we can see that the price has dipped and remained at that low price. The difference between catching cheap items like I try to do and picking up an item that's just crashing honestly just comes down to luck. Now when you take a loss, I always say it's best to just accept it and move on. I'm not going to wait for these to go back up. You never actually know if the item will move back up, so you really just have to take the new price for what it is. Looking at the chart, I can see it's currently going between 3.9k and 4.3k. It's not too unreasonable for me to put up a price of 4,800 looking at this. Just to be safe, I'll put it up for a little bit under 4,750. So now we've got around 5.3 mil and 4 GE slots, let's look for 4 more items to buy. First up, the new item Vials of Blood have been going between 2k and 2.4k for the last week with not much volatility at all. But just now they've gotten extremely volatile. This is even more apparent when looking at the daily graph and looking at the last couple of hours. In the last few hours they've been going for as low as 1.7k and as high as 2.5k. I'll place an offer for just over 1.8k each. The next item that I've found to flip are Brine Sabers. This is a little bit risky because their price right now is quite a bit higher than usual. But in the last few hours I've been selling for between 106k and 160k each. With flipping you've got to take some risk and make some money, so I'll put an offer for 106k and I hope that they remain around this price. I'll spend around 1.6 mil on these. Now Holy Blessings actually worked really well for us yesterday. Since they're still looking really good to flip, I'm going to try and do the exact same thing that I did yesterday. Buy them for 22k each and sell them for around 30k each. Now since the buy limit on these is only 5, and I'm not going to be checking these for around 12 hours or so, I'll place an offer to buy 15. So now we've got 600k to spend on one GE slot, let's find a high volume item. And all the baby impling jars finished selling. We managed to sell them all for 300k. Looking at our history, we picked up all of those baby impling jars for 456k in total, and we sold them all for 601k. That's a profit of 145k. In the last day, binding necklaces have gone for anywhere between 800 each and 4k each. 800 each is a pretty safe price, and is basically what they've been going for the last month or so. Based on this, I think it's a pretty safe buy to get them for 800 each, and hopefully they'll remain super volatile so I can sell them for maybe 1.5k. So now we've got 150k to spend on one item, let's look for something with a super high return just to see if we can get really lucky. So the item that I found is magic potions. Currently they're going for 100 each, but earlier today they were going for anywhere between 150 to up to 185 each. We just got a little bit more money from the Dwarven helmet, so I'll spend all of my money on these. So these are the items that we'll be leaving for the whole day. I'll be checking back in around 12 hours or so. It's the night of day 2, and again, not many of our offers went through, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Looking at our profit, the Dwarven helmets earned us 112k. We bought them for 288k altogether, and we sold them for 400k. And for our first loss of this series so far, it really wasn't too bad. We bought the Lumberyard teleports for 760k, and we sold them for 722k. That's a loss of 38k. So now we have 4.2 mil and these items over here. Let's start selling those off. I'm feeling really good about these Brine Sabers. It was pretty risky to pick them up due to their quickly rising price, but it appears now that we can sell them off for 143k each. So I am super confused about this one. I had an offer for Barrow's teleports going on for 3k for the whole day, but RSBuddy's data shows that they're going for well over 3k each. You can see here that they have it showing 6k and 3.4k. I have a suspicion that this is actually caused by the Deadman tournament going on right now, meaning that the prices from Deadman worlds are actually affecting the data. Since my site actually depends on this data, I've been pretty active in talking to RSBuddy's staff when stuff like this happens, and I've been told by their staff that they'll be starting to filter Deadman prices. But looking at these prices here, and considering how inaccurate the prices have been lately, I think that this just goes to show that there is still an issue here. I'm just going to have to keep that in mind and let them know. With that said, I reckon it's a good idea to end this episode early and liquidate everything. The prices are just too inaccurate and it's not good content to watch me try and figure out what's being affected and what's not. I'll still upload this video for the sake of continuity, but as for the prices on the site, I'll be doing as much as I can to get it back to normal. So yeah, sorry guys. So with these Barrow teleports, we bought them for 2.6k each, but since I have no way of reliably checking the price, I'm just going to have to guess a price here. I'll say that 2.8k seems pretty fair. That'll earn us a pretty small profit, but yeah, hopefully it goes through. Vials of Blood are one of those items that aren't traded on Deadman Worlds because nobody does raids there. So I can actually trust the data here. The most recent trades put them at 2.5k each, so let's give that a shot. We managed to get the binding necklaces for 800 each, and the data seems to be pretty consistent with showing 1.2k each. So let's try that. And the Holy Blessings look like a pretty good sell at 30k each still. That price worked for us before, so let's give that a go. So that brings a pretty unexpected end to this flipping session, but I'll be leaving these sell offers up for a while, and I'll be trying to fix the prices in the meantime. It's been 2 weeks since I last recorded anything, and the first thing that I want to say is that I'm truly sorry that it took so long. So after that last session, we had a couple of days of RSBuddy's prices being pretty wrong. I assumed that it was due to Deadman mode, but I never actually found out. Without warning, they completely changed how their data works. Every single flipping site, including PlatinumTokens and GE Tracker, were down for a couple of days, and it was actually pretty scary because I wasn't sure if they were going to let us keep using their data. I had a chat with one of their staff, and it turns out that what PlatinumTokens is doing is completely okay. But yeah, not long after that, RSBuddy had even more issues where the prices that they were giving us were more than a day old. It took them a few days to fix that one, but it's been all good since then. So in the meantime, I've just been doing some flips on my main. It was pretty rough having so many RSBuddy related issues in such a short time span, so I stepped away for a while just to de-stress a bit. But yeah, anyway, we've got some offers to check on. Why are we standing here? So I don't think that you'll be too surprised to see that over 2 weeks, all of our offers sold. Let's see what our final cash stack is. 8.4 mil. Looking at our profits, we made 274k on the binding necklaces. We bought them for 809 GP each and we sold them for 1.2k. The Brine Sabers earned us a tiny bit under 300k. We got them all for 106k each and we sold them for 143k each. The Holy Blessings were pretty good. We earned an 80k profit on those. And the Vials of Blood made us just under 90k. And we even profited from the Barrage Teleports. We sold them for 2.8k each, earning us 113k. And that's the end of episode 7. This episode only had 2 days worth of flips, so I padded it out just to reach the regular episode length. But that lets us get a fresh start for episode 8. I'm hoping that with all of the changes over the last few weeks, the RSBuddy will be back and better than ever, so there won't be any more hiccups. We started this episode with 6.86 mil, and we ended up with 8.431 mil for a total profit of 1.56 mil, which is a return of 22%. And at the current time, Armadillo GODSWORDs are worth 17.2 mil, meaning we're basically at the halfway mark. Right now, we're 49% of the way there. So it's time for some honourable mentions on our Discord. The best flip since the last video goes to Felipe Carlo for making 19 mil on Revenant Ether in just one flip. I've never even tried to flip those, and I don't think I'll try, but that's totally insane. Also, shout out to Nervez for getting 1.6 mil on his first flip with Zamorak D Hide Boots. Anyway, thanks for watching, and sorry again for the delay with this one. Peace guys.